Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Elizabeth Warren, the sellout progressive. The reason why I put progressive in quotations is because I'm not even sure she's a true progressive. Case in point. She said today on The View how she thinks Hillary Clinton has such a big heart for women and children. That's fine, because I've heard her say things completely opposite of that. Let's look at some of those things. Because last time I checked, Henry Kissinger is Hillary Clinton's close friend and confidant. War criminal Henry Kissinger. And that's worrisome because Kissinger, as Secretary of State under Reagan's administration, he was Secretary of State twice under Nixon and Reagan. Under Reagan's administration, he made deals with Iran to allow green rooms in exchange so we can train their people to help us fight the Ayatollahs in Iran. Which is quite funny, really, because green rooms, if you don't know what they are, they're rape rooms. And this is who Hillary Clinton trusts for foreign policy advice. This worries me. And so, let's go to Hillary Clinton's support for the bankruptcy bill. Now, in 2004, Elizabeth Warren was on Bill Moyer's show. He still has a show, by the way. And she said something to Bill Moyer on Hillary Clinton regarding the bankruptcy bill. Let's take a look at that.
You tell a story that to me illustrates what has happened to our political system in regard to the middle class, in regard to democracy in the country as a whole, and it involves Hillary Clinton.
I had written an op-ed about a piece of pending bankruptcy legislation. The credit card companies have been pushing to try to tighten the bankruptcy laws, sort of like locking the doors to the hospitals and then claiming nobody's sick in America. So they were trying to get the bankruptcy laws constricted so that fewer families could get in. Why? Because you can make more money if those families don't go into bankruptcy if you're a credit lender. And so I read an op-ed about how this would fall disproportionately hard on women who were raising families and who would be put in the position under this bill of trying to compete with Citibank, MasterCard, Visa, Bank One for getting alimony and child support from their ex-husbands. Mrs. Clinton evidently saw
The First Lady.
the First Lady. She was then First Lady. This is in the 1990s, late 1990s. Mrs. Clinton saw the piece, and I got a call from the White House. And they said Mrs. Clinton was going to be in town to give a speech in Boston, and would I come and meet with her? I said, sure. And so I put together all my files. I show up at the appointed place. After she's finished her speech, we're ushered into a tiny little room somewhere in the bowels of this hotel. And just the two of us. They close the door. Mrs. Clinton sits down. We have hamburgers and French fries.
You tutor her.
And she says, tell me about bankruptcy. And I got to tell you, I never had a smarter student. quick, right to the heart of it. I go over the law. It's a complex law. Went over the economics, showed her the graphs, showed her the charts, and she got it. Within 20 minutes, she could play where the rest of it would come. Well, then that will mean this part's happened. That will mean this has happened. I said, yes, that's right. And at the end of the conversation, Mrs. Clinton stood up. She said, let's get our picture taken, which we did. And she said, Professor Warren, we've got to stop that awful bill, referring to this bankruptcy bill that's sponsored by the credit card companies. So I left. She went back to Washington, and I heard later from someone who was a White House staffer that there were skid marks in the hallways when Mrs. Clinton got back as people reversed direction on that bankruptcy bill.
They were supporting the industry, and because of her,
President Clinton had been showing that this was another way that he could be helpful to business. It wasn't a very high visibility bill. And when Mrs. Clinton came back with a little better understanding of how it all worked, they reversed course, and they reversed course fast. And indeed, the proof is in the pudding. The last bill that came before President Clinton was that bankruptcy bill that was passed by the House and Senate in 2000, and he vetoed it. And in her autobiography, Mrs. Clinton took credit for that veto, and she rightly should. She turned around a whole administration on the subject of bankruptcy. She got it.
And then
One of the first bills that came up after she was Senator Clinton was the bankruptcy bill. This is a bill that's like a vampire. It will not die, right? There's a lot of money behind it. And
Bill, her husband had vetoed.
her husband had vetoed it very much at her urging.
And
She voted in favor of it.
why?
As Senator Clinton, the pressures are very different. It's a well-financed industry. A lot of people don't realize that the industry that gave the most money to Washington over the past few years was not the oil industry, was not pharmaceuticals. It was consumer credit products. Those are the people, the credit card companies have been giving money, and they have influence.
And Mrs. Clinton was one of them, as senator.
She has taken money from the groups, and more to the point, she worries about them as a constituency.
So what does this mean, though, to these people, these millions of people out there? And the politicians cavort in front of as favoring the middle class, and then are beholden to the powerful interests that underlie the middle class. What does it say about politics today?
This is the scary part about democracy today. We're talking again about the impact of money. The credit industry on this bankruptcy bill has spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying, and as their profits grow, they just throw more into lobbying for how they can get laws that will make it easier and easier and easier to drain money out of the pockets of middle-class families.
Okay. As you can clearly see by that video, that Elizabeth Warren called Hillary Clinton out on supporting the bankruptcy bill. Now, 2016, she just happens to believe that she has a heart for families out there, that she cares about women's rights so much. If that's the case, Elizabeth Warren, why didn't she take into the lives of Iraqi women, innocent women who were killed in that explosion that we dropped on them, the bomb that we dropped on them in 2002? Why didn't she take into the lives of those children? If Hillary Clinton really cared about women's lives and or the children's lives, if she truly meant what she said by women's rights are human rights, if she truly meant that, why did she support the bombing of Iraq? Tell me that, Elizabeth Warren. Why did she support the bombing of Iraq when she clearly knew it was only for oil, and she clearly knew that the money was more important than the lives of innocent people who would die from a bomb? Tell me why she voted for that bill. Oh, that's right. Elizabeth Warren, you were the one who said Americans can't trust her because she voted for the Iraq War bill. You were the one that says, as a woman, I don't trust her. You said that. You also said the following about Hillary Clinton. You also said, I feel as though she doesn't truly mean what she says. I feel that she says anything just to get elected. You said all these things about Hillary Clinton. And when did your opinion change about her that, oh, she's a nice-hearted person, cares about women's rights? If she really cared about women's rights, she wouldn't have voted to bomb Iraq. If she really cared about the rights of women, especially single mothers in America, she wouldn't have voted for that horrible, horrible bankruptcy bill. If she really cared about the lives of women and children and families, she wouldn't have supported her husband's racist proposition for that fucking crime bill of 1993. And you're wondering why progressives like myself are pissed off at you for endorsing Hillary Clinton? Gee, I just don't know why. And I'll show you another thing. Pretty sure there's a compilation video because there's a lot of compilation videos out there. Here it is.
You tell. A story that to me illustrates what has happened to our political system in regard to the middle class, in regard to democracy in the country as a whole. And it involves Hillary Clinton.
I had written
Oh, same video. Sorry about that.
op-ed.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube took down videos of Elizabeth Warren completely showing the sellout and the corporate monster Hillary Clinton is and the horrible person she is. I wouldn't be surprised if they took it down because they've done that shit with Google. Case in point, let's go to Google and then Yahoo. Watch this shit. It's too funny. Hillary Clinton crime form, Hillary Clinton crisis. let's do not even investigation, but investment bank. Now let's go to Yahoo. Hillary Clinton email scandal, Hillary Clinton indictment, Hillary Clinton Benghazi cover-up, which is bullshit anyway. Criminal investigation, criminal charges, crimes, crime list. Investigation, involvement in Benghazi, investigated by FBI. Investment scandal, investigation results. As you can see, Google is trying to make people want to vote for Hillary Clinton, while Yahoo is not even taking any evidence against her down. But yet, Elizabeth Warren, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure if you're a true progressive. Because all this shit's happening, and you say, oh, you're against the corruption in Washington, you want it to stop. Then why are you endorsing Hillary Clinton? Why are you endorsing Hillary Clinton? Why are you endorsing a woman who defended a guilty as charged rapist who basically violently raped a 12-year-old girl, and now that 12-year-old girl is in her 50s? But Hillary Clinton defended this guy. And she laughed with glee, sheer fucking glee, when saying, oh, oh, you know, that rapist case. I'm not kidding. The audio's out there. Elizabeth Warren, I've lost all respect for you. I really have. Instead of sticking to principle, you caved into fear. And you're also the giant, most utter hypocrite of all goddamn time. Donald Trump calls you bigoted names, which is not right in any way, shape, or form. However, though, you turn around and call him thin-skinned, a petulant child, so on and so forth. If you don't like Donald Trump calling you names, why do you call Donald Trump names? It works. It's not a one-way street. It works both ways. It's a little hypocritical to call Donald Trump names and then say, I don't appreciate the things you're saying about me back. If you're going to play a tit-for-tat thing, well, game on. Expect to be called names by Donald Trump if you want to play the tit-for-tat game. Because that shit happens when you play tit-for-tat. And one more final thing before I plug in these two places. This whole time you said, oh, I agree with Bernie Sanders. 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 So do I. And I'm a Bernie or bust person. I'm a Bernie or bust. Bernie is my generation's only hope of fixing this fucked up country the way it is. And guess what? It looks like we're not going to get him. We're either going to get a Wall Street money-taking, Goldman Sachs speech-giving politician, Hillary Clinton, or we're going to get Orange Crush for president. I don't like either of them. And to turn your back on Bernie Sanders when he needs you the most, and then you turn your back on him, and then endorse Hillary Clinton, that's a stab in the eye to all progressives. Okay, finally, before I go, this has from Hershey Park, and this sure is from Knoebels. They did not ask me to plug them into this video, but I'm going to do it anyway because they're both fun places to go. They're both amusement resorts. Hershey, you have to pay to get in. There's an entrance fee, of course, but Knoebels is completely free entrance free. The only thing you have to pay for is the tickets. And seriously, if you don't live in Pennsylvania, or if you live in Pennsylvania, you've probably gone to these places at least once or twice. But if you don't live in the state of Pennsylvania and you have a week's vacation, I seriously suggest checking out Knoebels because they also have camping places. And I seriously also suggest checking out Hershey Park because your kids are going to love it, and it's the chocolate capital of the USA. See you guys.